Good morning everyone. My name is Sudharani, working as a guest DL in zoology from TTWRDC, Dammapeta. Now I am going to discuss about human circulatory system. Our human body is made up of several organs and organ systems. Each organ system has play a crucial role in our body. Now we know about the role of circulatory system in human body. What do you mean by circulation? Circulation means nothing but a transport. What do you mean by transport? Transport means sending materials from one place to the another place wherever they need. Okay. Likewise, in animals' body also they need a continuous supply of nutrients and oxygen for the production of energy. Without energy, they can't survive. They can't do anything without energy. For this purpose, the animals need continuous supply of nutrients and oxygen. How the nutrients produce energy produce energy? How means the nutrients they combine with oxygen and participate in the oxidizing process, and they are oxidized and supply energy in the form of ATP. How the nutrients enters into our body? By the digestive system. Our digestive system starts with the mouth and ends with the anus. Through the mouth we get food inside of our body. Okay, when the food enters into the stomach, the digestion process is started. After digestion, the nutrients, whatever the present in taken food, the nutrients are separated from that food materials. Okay, the separated nutrients are supplied to the each and every part of our every cell of our body. Likewise, oxygen also. How the oxygen enters into our body? Oxygen enters into our body through the respiratory system. Okay, from the our respiratory system consists of nostrils and starts with the nostrils, and the last part of the respiratory system is alveolus. Okay, through the nostrils the oxygen enters into the lungs. After reaching the lungs, it enters into the alveoli. From the alveoli, it dissolves into blood. From the blood, it circulates to the each and every cell of our body. In cells, the nutrients combine with oxygen and they become oxidized and they release energy in the form of ATP. For this purpose, okay, to produce energy in the form of ATP, we have to supply nutrients and oxygen to the each and every cell of our body. How the nutrients supply each and every cell of the body? How the oxygen supply each and every cell of the body? For this supply, we need one circulatory system. Not only supply these nutrients and oxygen, and also remove the waste materials. Okay. After the completion of catabolic activities, some of the nitrogenous waste materials are formed in our cells. How they are removed from the cells and how they sent out of our body? And our body performs several hormonal actions also. Okay, we have several endocrine glands in our body. These endocrine glands they release hormones. Okay, endocrine means without tubules. Okay, without vessels. The glands without vessels, without tubules are called endocrine glands. How the endocrine glands they send their hormones to the target organs. Okay, how means with the help of circulatory system also. That means the circulatory system is very crucial metabolic activities in our body to circulate the nutrients and oxygen and to remove the waste material and to supply the hormones further to the target organs. We need this circulatory system. Okay. For this purpose, the higher animals they develop a well-defined circulatory system, which consists of three components. The first component is circulating fluid. What is the circulating fluid in our body? Means blood, and a propulsive organ, that is heart. Okay, the propulsive organ of circulatory system is heart, which pumps blood into the vessels. And the third component is tubules, through which blood circulates to the every part of our body. These blood vessels are again two types, arteries and veins. Okay, these are the three main components of circulatory system. What are the three main components of circulatory system? Blood, heart and blood vessels. These are the three main components of circulatory system. Okay, depending on the complexity of animal body, the complexity of animal body, the circulatory system is mainly two types. Depending on depending on the complexity of animal's body structure, the circulatory system is broadly divided into two types. The first one is open circulatory system. The second one is closed circulatory system. Okay, open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. First we see about the open circulatory system, how it is. In this type, the blood flows partially in the blood vessels and partially in the body cavities. See in this slide how the blood moves into the body. Okay, from the heart, first the blood enters into the blood vessels. From the blood vessels, it enters into the body cavities. Okay, that means the blood does not stay always in the blood vessels. Here, do you understand? In this slide, we can able to see how blood flows from heart. It enters into the blood vessels. From the blood vessels, it moves to the open spaces. That open spaces are called body cavities or sinuses. These sinuses are surround the body organs. The internal organs are surrounded in this surrounded by the sinus. Okay, the blood is pumped by the heart, which passes through the large blood vessels. Okay, first the blood pumped by the heart. In open circulatory system also heart is there. Okay, in closed circulatory system and open circulatory system both consist heart. In open circulatory system, what happens? The blood sometimes it circulate in blood vessels and sometimes it flows into body cavities. First from the heart it enters into the blood vessels. From the blood vessels it supply to the body cavities. These body cavities are called sinuses. These sinuses they present around the internal organs. Okay, in this open circulatory system blood flows slowly. Okay, because there is no blood pressure. Okay, next one is a closed circulatory system. In closed circulatory, in this type, the blood is confined to blood vessels only. Okay, from the heart means here the heart pumps blood into the large blood vessels. What we call that large blood vessels? Arteries. The work of the arteries, they supply blood from the heart to the organs. Here, the heart pumps blood into the large blood vessels. The blood vessels are called arteries. These arteries, here it is a closed circulatory system. In this closed circulatory system, the blood comes from heart to the large blood vessels. What we call large blood vessels are arteries. From the arteries, blood supplies to the every part of our body. Next, from the organs, the veins bring back blood to the heart. Okay, in this slide we can able to see arteries and veins. Okay, in a closed circulatory system, blood is not free in body cavities. It always confined to the blood vessels. Hence, we call it as a closed circulatory system. Okay, now we see the structure of mammalian heart or human heart. Okay, mammalian heart, including human beings, it consists of 4 chambered and it is a closed circulatory system. Okay, in all the mammals, they consist heart with 4 chambered and it is a closed circulatory system. Here, heart is a chief pumping organ of circulatory system. It is a muscular organ. Muscular organ means made up with muscles. Which muscles? Means cardiac muscles. The heart is made up with cardiac muscles. Where it is located and from where it is developed means it is developed from the embryonic mesoderm. Okay, the heart is developed from the embryonic mesoderm. In the embryonic stage, we have 3 membranes: ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. From the mesoderm, the heart is developed. It is made up of with cardiac muscles. That's why we call it as a muscular organ. Where it is located in our body means it is situated in the center of the thoracic cavity. Okay, in this slide we can able to see the location of the heart. Okay, it is situated just in between two lungs. Okay, right and left lungs in the thoracic cavity, but slightly it is tilted into the left side. Okay, if you observe slightly, it is tilt into the left side. Okay, what is the size of the heart means it is a clenched fist. Okay, the size of the heart is a clenched fist. Okay, it depends on the individual fist size. Okay, for the children, in small children, the fist size is small, so the heart also small. In adult, the fist is bigger, the size of the heart also in that manner. Now if you see the weight of the heart, it is 300 grams. Okay, the heart, if you see the shape of the heart, it is a cone shaped structure. The heart of the shape of the heart is cone shaped. If you see the bottom, it has a pointed bottom, and you see the top, it is rounded. Okay, the shape of the heart is cone shaped. The posterior is pointed and the anterior is broader. Okay, posterior is broader and the anterior is narrow. Okay, it is protected by a pericardium. Okay, in this diagram you can able to see it is protected by a pericardium. It is a double layered membrane. Okay, heart is located in thoracic cavity in between the two lungs. Okay, it is protected by a double layered membrane. What we call this double layered membrane means pericardium. The outer layer is called epicardium and the inner layer is called endocardium. Okay, pericardium is made up of with two layers. The outer one is epicardium and the inner one is endocardium. This endocardium also a double layered membrane. The outer one is called parietal layer and the inner one is called visceral layer. Okay, pericardium consists of two layers, epicardium and endocardium. Again, this endocardium consists of two layers. The outer one is a parietal layer and the inner one is a visceral layer. Between these two layers, okay, epicardium and endocardium, between these two layers, a narrow pericardial cavity is there. Okay, between these two layers, some narrow space is there. This space is called pericardial cavity, which is filled with pericardial fluid. Okay, pericardium is made up of two layers, epicardium and endocardium. Between this epicardium and endocardium, a narrow space is there. What we call this space means pericardial cavity. This cavity is filled with pericardial fluid. Okay, what is the purpose of fluid means it gives protection from the shocks and injuries to the heart. Okay, this pericardial fluid protects the heart from the shocks and injuries. Okay, here in this slide we can able to see the parietal pericardium and visceral pericardium. Okay, here this blue color structure is pericardial fluid, which gives protection to the heart from shocks and injuries. Okay, now we see the external structure of heart. Okay, this is the external structure of heart. The heart has 4 chambers. Okay, in the beginning I told already, mammals have 4 chambered heart. The heart is 4 chambers, 2 upper chambers and 2 lower chambers. Okay, these upper chambers are called auricles, or another word is atria, and the lower chambers are called ventricles. Okay, these auricles are called collecting chambers, while the ventricles are called pumping chambers. Clear? The upper chambers are auricles, the other name for auricles is atria, and the lower chambers are called ventricles. Auricles are called collecting chambers, and the ventricles are called pumping chambers. Okay. Externally, these both chambers means auricles and ventricles are separated by a transverse, that means horizontal groove called coronary sulcus. Okay, these upper chambers and lower chambers are separated by a transverse groove. What we call that groove means coronary sulcus. Okay, heart forms its own two sides, two separate systems consisting of an auricle and a ventricle. Okay, here by the separation of coronary sulcus, heart forms two separate systems. Okay, each system consists of an auricle and a ventricle. Okay, what are the two systems? Means a right half and a left half. Okay, each system, a auricle and a ventricle is present. Okay, two separate systems are formed. One is right half, another one is left half. Okay, the right half contains deoxygenated blood and the left half contains oxygenated blood. Okay, blood can flow from auricles to the ventricles. Okay, blood flows from auricles to ventricles, but not between auricles or ventricles. But not between auricles or ventricles, and hence no mixing of blood occurs. Clear? Heart consists of four chambers. Upper chambers are called two upper chambers and two lower chambers. Upper chambers are called auricles or atria, and the lower chambers are called ventricles. Auricles are the collecting chambers, ventricles are the pumping chambers. Externally, these four chambers, that means upper chambers and lower chambers, are separated by a transverse groove. What we call that groove means coronary sulcus. Okay, this coronary sulcus separates the upper chambers and lower chambers. Heart forms its own two separate systems. What are the two separate systems means? What are present in the separate systems means right half and left half. Right half consists of one auricle and one ventricle, and the left half also consists of one auricle and one ventricle. Okay, in right side, right half always contain deoxygenated blood. In left side always oxygenated blood is present. Okay, blood can flow from auricles to the ventricles. Okay, but not between auricles and ventricles. Okay, means right auricle, there is no supply of blood from right auricle to the left auricle, from right ventricle to the left ventricle. Okay, this blood always transport from auricle to ventricle, not between auricles, not between ventricles. Okay, to avoid the mixing of blood, always transport from auricles to the ventricles. Now we see the internal structure of a heart. Here you can able to see the internal structure of a heart. Here you can see clearly left atrium and right atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle. See here the right side is in blue color and the left side is in red color. Here the blue color indicates the deoxygenated blood, left side red color indicates the oxygenated blood. One more slide we have. Here this is the clear picture about internal structure of heart. Okay, you see the vertical section of heart. The heart shows the details of internal structure. Broadly, the internal structure of heart shows three parts, namely auricles, ventricles and aortic arteries. Okay, the vertical section of heart, you can able to see the three components: auricles, ventricles and aortic arteries. First see about the auricles. The topmost chambers of the heart are called auricles. Auricles are thin walled receiving chambers. Okay, auricles are thin walled receiving chambers. The right one is larger than the left auricle. Okay, the right auricle is larger than the left auricle. The two auricles are separated by a interauricular septum. Okay, the upper topmost thin chambers are called auricles. Auricles are nothing but collecting chambers. The right auricle is larger than the left auricle. The two auricles are separated by a thin muscular wall. What we call that muscular wall means interauricular septum. Okay, the interauricular septum, it separates the right auricle and left auricle. Okay, the right auricle receives deoxygenated blood. Okay, the right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body through superior vena cava, also called as precaval vein, and inferior vena cava, also called as postcaval vein. Okay, the right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body through the superior vena cava, otherwise precaval vein, posterior vena cava, otherwise superior vena cava, precaval vein. Another one is inferior vena cava or postcaval vein. Okay, with the help of these two veins, the right auricle collects the deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body. Next, the left auricle, it receives oxygenated blood from the lungs through the pulmonary veins. Okay, one pair of pulmonary veins, they opens into the left auricle and they brings oxygenated blood from the lungs. Okay, the superior vena cava and pulmonary veins, they don't have any valves, but at the inferior vena cava it have valve. Which valve means Eustachian valves. Okay, in superior vena cava and these pulmonary veins, they don't have any valves, but in inferior vena cava, the opening of inferior vena cava is guarded by a Eustachian valve. Okay, at the opening of Eustachian valve, near the interauricular septum, one tissue is presented, one muscular tissue is present. What we call that means sinoauricular node. Okay, at the opening of Eustachian valve, near the interauricular septum, SA node, that means sinoauricular node is present, which is a pacemaker. What do you mean by pacemaker means? Pacemaker means which initiate the heartbeat. Okay, which initiate the heartbeat. Where it is located? In the right auricle, near the Eustachian valve. Okay, near the opening of Eustachian valve, SA node is present. Okay, it is a pacemaker. Now the auricles are opens into the ventricles. Okay, auricles are completed. Auricles have thin walls, they are collecting chambers, they collect different parts, deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body with the help of superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, and another one is pulmonary veins. Okay, the right auricle always receives deoxygenated blood, the left auricle receives oxygenated blood. Okay, in right auricle we have SA node. SA node is a pacemaker which initiate the heartbeat. Okay, next one ventricles. Okay, next part ventricles, the lower chambers, the two chambers present at the bottom of the heart. Okay, the two chambers which present bottom of the heart are called ventricles. Okay, the ventricles are thick walled and larger than auricles. When compared to the auricles, the walls are thick and the size of the ventricles is large. Okay, the left ventricle is larger than the right ventricle. In auricles, right auricle is larger than the left auricle, but here the left ventricle is larger than the right ventricle. Okay, this both right and left ventricle both are separated by a interventricular septum. In auricles, we have interauricular septum. Likewise, here ventricles also separated by a interventricular septum, which prevents the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Okay, the auricles and ventricles at the same side, they are separated by a thick muscular fibers. What we call them is auriculoventricular septa. Okay, the auricle and ventricle at the same side are separated by a thick muscular fibers. What we call them means thick muscular layers. What we call them means auriculoventricular septa. Okay, here both sides, the right side and the left side, the auricle and ventricle both are separated by a auriculoventricular septa. Through the septa, they have small openings to connect each other. Clear? Right auricle and right ventricle and left auricle and left ventricle both are separated by a auriculoventricular septa. Here this septa provides with a opening. Okay, this septa which separates the auricle and ventricle, it provides a opening to connect the right auricle with the right ventricle and the left auricle with the left ventricle. These septa form say small openings. These openings are called auriculoventricular openings. Clear? With the help of auriculoventricular septa, auricles and ventricles are separated. With the help of auriculoventricular openings, both are connected. To separate the auricles ventricles, auriculoventricular septa is there. To connect the auricles and ventricles, auriculoventricular openings are there. Clear? How they are connected and how they are separated? Between right auricle, at the opening of right auricle and right ventricle, tricuspid valve is there. At the opening of right auricle and right ventricle, tricuspid valve is there. Okay, if you see the left side, in the left auricle and left ventricle, bicuspid valve is present. Okay, and this tricuspid valve is supplied with 3 muscular flaps. Okay, the opening of here tricuspid valve, right side, right in between the right auricle and right ventricle. Okay, at the connecting of right auriculoventricular openings, tricuspid valve is there, which supplies 3 muscular flaps. Okay, at the opening of right auricle into the right ventricle, we have bicuspid valve, which supplies 2 muscular flaps. Okay, now see the inner surface. The inner surface of ventricles is raised into the muscular ridges. Here the inner surface of the ventricles, it rises into the muscular ridges. What we call them is columna cornea. Okay, the muscles, the muscular structures inside of the ventricles, they form the columna cornea. Some of these ridges, they are large and conical. They are called as papillary muscles. Okay, the inner walls of the ventricles, they form columna cornea. In this columna cornea, some are large and conical shape. Okay, they are called papillary muscles. This extending between auriculoventricular walls and the papillary muscles are tendon-like structures called cardia tendinae. In this slide, you can able to see this fiber-like structures are called cardia tendinae. Okay, they prevent the flaps of auriculoventricular valves from bulging too far into auricles. This cardiac tendon they prevent the openings of auriculoventricular muscular flaps. Okay, we see the posterior right border of the ventricles at the ventricular septum, interventricular septum, AV node, that means auriculoventricular node is present. Okay, at the here the posterior near the interventricular septum, AV node is located. AV node is also one of the pacemaker which continues, not SA node is initiator, AV node is continuous. Okay, it continues the heartbeats. Okay, from which a bundle of specialized muscle fibers called bundle of his arises. From the AV node, bundle of his specialized muscle fibers are arises, which enters into the interventricular septum and divides into two main branches that extend apex of the heart, then spread into the walls of the ventricles. What we call them means Purkinje fibers. Okay, some muscle fibers they continue with the interventricular septum. They divides into two main branches. These branches they form to the supply entire walls of the ventricles in the form of Purkinje fibers. They move to the apex of the heart from the posterior region along with the interventricular septum. Okay, next third component is aortic arches. Okay, the two aortic arteries, namely pulmonary artery and systemic artery. Okay, pulmonary and systemic artery. Here you can able to see pulmonary in blue color. One is pulmonary artery. It divides into left and right. This one right pulmonary artery and left pulmonary artery. This red color is aortic or systemic artery. They carry blood from the heart. This pulmonary artery and systemic artery both carry blood from the heart to different body parts. Okay, this pulmonary artery it arises from the right auricle. Okay, this pulmonary artery where it is arises means it arises from the right auricle and it divides into two branches. Okay, it divides into two branches, right pulmonary artery and left pulmonary artery. These two arteries they supply blood to the lungs. Which blood? It brings from the right auricle, so it is deoxygenated blood. From the right auricle, it brings deoxygenated blood to the lungs for the purification process. How the blood purified in the lungs? How is it possible? Because lungs they receive oxygen through the respiratory system. Okay, in the alveoli the oxygen is present in the alveoli. In the alveoli the gases exchange takes place. Okay, the right and left pulmonary artery they bring deoxygenated blood from the right auricle and supplies to the lungs for the purification process. In the lungs the alveolus contains oxygen. Okay, this deoxygenated blood reaches to the alveolus. Here CO2 from this deoxygenated blood enters into the alveolus. The oxygen which present in the alveoli is moves to the blood. So the blood purification takes place in the lungs. Next aortic artery or systemic artery. It arises from the left auricle. Clear? From where it is this pulmonary artery it arises from the right ventricle. Systemic artery it arises from the left ventricle. Clear? Right auricle receives deoxygenated blood. From the right auricle, deoxygenated blood moves to the left ventricle, right auricle to the right ventricle. Likewise, left ventricle receives oxygenated blood, and from the left ventricle, oxygenated blood moves to the left ventricle. Okay, right, left auricle to the left ventricle, right auricle to the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, pulmonary arteries arises. This pulmonary artery splits into left pulmonary and right pulmonary artery. These two arteries supplies blood to the lungs for the purification process. Lungs, in lungs alveoli, it consists of oxygen. In the alveoli, gaseous takes place, though, so blood purification over. What about systemic artery? Systemic artery, it arises from the left ventricle. Left ventricle, it consists oxygenated blood. How the oxygenated blood comes into the left ventricle means from the left auricle. This left auricle receives oxygenated blood from the lungs. Clear? From the lungs, oxygenated blood sent to the left auricle. From the left auricle, blood moves to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, the oxygenated blood supplies to the every part of our body through the systemic artery. Clear? This systemic artery splits into so many branches, and it is also, its opening is also guarded by a aortic semilunar valves. Okay, pulmonary artery also guarded by a pulmonary semilunar valves, and the aortic artery also, systemic artery also guarded by a systemic semilunar valves. Okay, now we see the working of heart. Okay, the functioning of heart. The heart shows the continuous contraction and relaxation process. Okay, the heart always shows continuous alternate contractions and relaxations. The contraction is called systole and the relaxation is called diastole. Okay, the contraction of the heart is called systole and the relaxation of the heart is called diastole. The systole and diastole, they occurs in regular intervals. Okay, they need regular intervals. The one after the other, systole and diastole will be continuous. The heartbeat includes one systole and one diastole. Okay, one heartbeat, it consists of one systole and one diastole. That is also called cardiac cycle. In each cardiac cycle, one systole is there and one diastole is there. Okay, when it contracts, means when heart is in contraction state, it pumps the blood. At the time of contraction, the heart pumps the blood. At the time of relaxation, the heart receives the blood. At the time of contraction, it pumps the blood. At the time of relaxation, it receives the blood. Okay, the alternate contraction and relaxation of heart, it constitute the cardiac cycle. Clear? The alternate contraction and relaxation, it forms the cardiac cycle. The cardiac cycle occurs just 0.8 seconds of time. Okay, to complete one cardiac cycle, how much time we require? Just 0.8 seconds time. Okay, in this cardiac cycle we have 4 steps. Okay, in this cardiac cycle we have 4 steps. The first one is atrial diastole, and second one is atrial systole. The third one is ventricular diastole, and the fourth one is ventricular systole. First, see about the atrial diastole. Already I told what do you mean by diastole. Diastole means relaxation, systole means contraction. Okay, first see about the atrial diastole. During this atrial diastole, the auricles are in a relaxed state. Okay, when the auricles are in a relaxed state, their cavities expand. At the time of diastole, auricles are relaxed. Okay, their cavities are expanded. When the cavities are expanded, automatically the pressure is very less. Clear? Inside the pressure is less because they have large space. When the space increases, automatically pressure decreases. As a result, the blood flows into them from the large veins. When the auricles in the diastole state, the cavities are very big in size. When the space is more, pressure is less. When less pressure, the blood rushes into the auricles from the large veins. Okay, here the right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body through the superior and inferior vena cava and pulmonary veins. Okay. Okay, in precaval and postcaval veins, they open into the right auricle, they dump deoxygenated blood. Okay, pulmonary veins, they open into the left auricle and they dump oxygenated blood. Clear? At the time of diastole. That means auricles are relaxed state, their chambers are filled with blood at the relaxed state. Because in the relaxed state, they have expanded cavity. Due to the expand, the pressure is less. Due to the less pressure, blood rushes into the auricles. Next, auricular systole. Diastole is completed, and the next step is systole. When the auricles chambers are filled with blood, okay, when the auricles chambers are filled with blood, immediately they start contraction. Okay, what happens in the contraction? The cavities, they become closed. The size of the cavities decreases. When the size of the cavities decreases, they push the blood into the ventricles. Okay, when they are expanded state, blood rushes into the auricles. When their size decreases, when the auricles size decreases, the cavities come close and they causes pressure on the blood, so the blood rushes into the ventricles. From the right auricle, deoxygenated blood moves to the right ventricle. From the left auricle, blood moves to the left ventricle. Okay, how it moves? Through the auriculoventricular openings. Okay, when the auricles are systole means contraction. When they are contraction, their cavities become closed. Because the size decreases, they cause pressure. Due to the pressure, blood moves to the respective ventricles. From the right auricle to the right ventricle, from the left auricle to the left ventricle through the auriculoventricular openings. Here, at the side of right atrioventricular opening, tricuspid valve is there. At left side, bicuspid valves are there. Okay, when the pressure occurs, these valves are open and they allow the blood moves from auricles to the ventricles. Next, ventricular diastole. Okay, during this phase, the ventricles are in a relaxed state. Okay, and their cavities are expand. Okay, at the time of ventricular diastole, the ventricles are in a relaxed state and their cavities are in an expanded mode. Okay, as a result, the pressure is decreases. Okay, like in a auricular diastole, how the auricles cavities are expanded. Here in ventricles cavities also expanded. When the cavities are expand, automatically pressure is decreasing. When the pressure decreases, automatically blood rushes into the cavities. Okay, here when ventricles, this is about auricular systole. Sorry, I forgot to show this slide. This is atrial systole. Systole means nothing but a contraction. When auricles are contracted, when they start contraction, their cavities become small, become close, then pressure occurs. With the pressure, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves are opened, then blood moves to the ventricles, okay, from the right auricle to the right ventricle and left auricle to the left ventricle. Now see the ventricular diastole. At the time of diastole, ventriculars are a relaxed state, so their chambers are expanded. When the space is more, pressure is less. When the chambers are expanded, then blood rushes into the ventricles. At the same time, when the blood moves to the ventricles, the auricles are relaxed. Okay, when the ventricles are in a diastole state, when the ventricles are in a diastole, at that time the auricles are relaxed. Okay, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves, they become closed. Clear? Okay, when the auricles are in a systole stage, systole means they make pressure. Okay, through this pressure, blood rushes into the ventricles. At that time, ventricles are in a diastole stage. Diastole means they are in relaxed state, so the chambers are expanded, so the pressure is less, then blood moves to the ventricles. When the blood moves to the ventricles, at the time auricles become relaxed. So the valves which are present in a tricuspid and bicuspid valves, they shut down to prevent the backward flow of blood to the auricles. Okay, once blood moves to the ventricles from auricles, immediately the tricuspid and bicuspid valves are closed with make a sound lub. Okay, lub is the first heart sound. Okay, why they are immediately closed means to prevent back flow of blood, to prevent the backward flow of blood from ventricles to the auricles. Immediately the tricuspid and bicuspid valves are closed. When they are closed, they make a sound lub. That lub sound is the first heart sound. Okay, this is the ventricular diastole. Next one, ventricular systole. Systole means nothing but a contraction. During this phase, ventricles, they contract. Okay, at the time of systole, the ventricles, they start contraction. What happens in the contraction? The cavities, the chambers become closed. When they are become closed, their size decreases. When the size of the chambers decreases, automatically pressure increases. Okay, when the pressure increases, the blood rushes into the arteries, the pulmonary artery and systemic aorta. Okay, when the pressure increases in the ventricles, the blood moves to the pulmonary artery and systemic aorta. Okay, by opening of semilunar valves. In previous I told na the openings of pulmonary artery and systemic aorta is guarded by a semilunar valves. Okay, pulmonary semilunar valves and systemic semilunar valves are present at their opening. Okay, from the right ventricle, pulmonary artery is arises. From the left ventricle, systemic aorta is arises. Okay, when the blood from the right ventricle, the deoxygenated blood moves to the or supplies to the pulmonary artery when it contracts. At the same time, from the left ventricle, the oxygenated blood also supplies to the or moves to the systemic aorta. Okay, when the blood moves to the pulmonary and systemic aortas, immediately their semilunar valves are closed with making a sound dub. Clear? Dub is the second heartbeat. At the time of diastole, Which diastole? Ventricular diastole. At the time of ventricular diastole, the first heart sound of love is generated. How it generated love sound? By the closing of tricuspid and bicuspid valves. Okay. At the time of ventricular systole, the second heartbeat, the second heart sound dub is produced by the closing of semilunar valves of pulmonary and systemic aorta. Okay. This lub and dub sounds are measured with the help of a stethoscope. Okay. Now you see the complete cardiac cycle. It is like this: atrial systole and atrial diastole, systole, ventricular diastole and ventricular systole. Okay, this is the cardiac cycle. At the time of diastole, both auricles and ventricles both are in a relaxed state. Okay, when the auricles are relaxed, their chambers are filled with blood. Okay, at the time of auricular relaxation, their chambers filled with blood from the different veins. Okay, pulmonary veins, next pulmonary arteries and inferior and superior vena cava. With the help of these these tubules, both the auricles are filled with blood. When the auricles are contraction mode, when they are contraction state, the ventricles are in diastole. At the time of auricles contraction, the ventricles are in a relaxed state. Okay, at the time of relaxed state, the auricles send blood into the ventricles. Clear? When the ventricles filled with blood, immediately they start contraction. Clear? When the ventricles contraction is called ventricular systole. When they are contracted, at the time the blood moves to the respective arteries, pulmonary artery and systemic arteries. From the pulmonary artery, blood supplies to the lungs. From the systemic artery, it supplies to the every part of our body. Okay, this is about the cardiac cycle. Next overview. The human heart consists of how many chambers? 4 chambers are present in our human heart. Okay. Out of thanks. Thank you for giving this opportunity.